Good morning and welcome to SUTV Live, where we'll be coming to you live from our Bramall Lane studio for each and every match day of the 2021-22 season. Today's 12:30 kickoff sees Sheffield United take to the road as they travel to the MKM Stadium taking on Hull City. The Blades have taken 4 points from the last 2 games, whilst their opponents today haven't taken any since their opening day victory over Preston North End. With this afternoon's game being an early kick-off, a win for Slavisa Jukanovic's side today could see us move into the top half of the Championship League table. It's the Blades against the Tigers, and all of the build-up is exclusively live right here on SUTV Live. Hello and welcome once again from our studio inside Bramall Lane. The next 55 minutes of build-up is available free to view for all Blades fans on this platform. And for all of the information regarding broadcasting regulations relating to the live match feed on this platform, please go to sufc.co.uk for everything you need to know. Well, here's what you can look forward to on today's show. We'll be meeting our 2 studio guests for today very shortly, and the 3 of us will be running through the team news that broke just a few minutes before we came on air this morning. We'll take a look back at Tuesday night's 2-2 draw against Preston North End here at Bramall Lane, and we'll be hearing the pre-match thoughts of Slavisa Jukanovic. We'll be hearing more from new signing Robin Olsen, and we'll have an SUTV live exclusive with Rhys Norrington-Davies. Well, let's say hello now to our 2 studio guests today. First of all, Kevin Gage, who you once played for Hull City.
Yes, many moons ago. Not the best period of my career by any stretch. I think I was a bit too old and too slow and too injured. So I actually retired before my contract ended. I called it a day. But yeah, they've done well since then. It's a good club.
A good club indeed, and well, let's hope that Sheffield United wind up with 3 points coming from there today. And hello as well to Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, Sheffield United striker and a Sheffield United striker in form. Couple of goals in your last match. Tell us how it's been going so far.
Yeah, we've had a good start to the season. As you say, a 3-0 win against Coventry last week. I managed to bag a couple, so happy there. But the most important thing is the 3 points. So yeah, we've on the international break at the moment, so raring to get back to it next week.
And loving being here at Bramall Lane?
Yeah, loving being a Blade. I was here last season, but obviously, unfortunately, with all the restrictions, didn't manage to see the fans. So it's nice to be back in this season, have the fans, and yeah, loving life as a Blade.
Now, Kevin, I've not been with you for a couple of weeks or so. Things have rather looked up in that time. Good performance against Peterborough, and unlucky, you could say, not to have beaten Preston.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We were the better team. We didn't dominate as we did against Peterborough, but we were certainly the better side against Preston, and we had the better chances and should have, seen the game out really. So desperately disappointed, but things are going in the right direction. So we're in a much better place than we were when you were last here, John, a few weeks ago.
We'll look at that Preston game in a bit more detail later on, but I mean, to concede a goal in the 5th minute of extra time, that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, but it happens, doesn't it? It evens out over the course of a season or a couple of seasons even. I'm sure we'll get last minute, equalisers or winners. So sometimes you have to just, bite the bullet and accept it.
Going over to Hull today, though, when you look at, they're in a bit of an awful run, Courtney. This must be one which the players, the manager, the whole team set up. They'll be going there thinking, yeah, we can get 3 here.
Yeah, Hull, they've not won since the opening day, so it's been a tough start for them. And I think, yeah, you look at in the season, as a team, you earmark that, certain games where you think we definitely should be getting 3 points here. And I think that's important for Blades to go and get the 3 points. Obviously, as you say, a great performance against Peterborough. Should have probably won against Preston. So now it's about being ruthless today for me.
We'll get the team news in just a minute, Kevin, but how do you think Slav will be geeing them up for this? Because we've heard a lot of them talking about the need to create more chances and to obviously score more goals, but he wants them to be more composed and not let a goal in what you could describe as a silly goal, like we witnessed in the last match.
Yeah, but that happens, all the time. He won't. The players won't need any extra G'ing up, as you just described it, for this particular game. And I think over the last month or two, the manager's has tried to instill confidence into the players, because we weren't actually playing very badly when we weren't getting the results. We were doing okay, we weren't terrible. So I think he's just tried to, as I say, instill confidence in the team, tried to get them to play with a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flair, and let their natural ability come to the fore. And that's what's kind of evolving, within the team and within the squad. And it's manifested itself in 8 goals in the last 2 games and umpteen chances as well.
Would you go along with that, Courtney? More sort of attacking flair being encouraged?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's the big thing for a manager. If you can instill confidence in your team, we know that Blades were in a tough position. The way they got relegated, not just the relegation, but a lot of unwanted records in terms of least points, least goals and things like that, and that does have a hangover effect. So it's obviously come in, it's instilled confidence in the team. I think created a lot of chances against Preston. I think with the chances that we had, could have probably won the game 3 times over. So now it was right. We started with playing well, good possession, but not creating many chances. Now we're creating the chances. The next step is then to put them in the back of the net.
It's a learning curve for the players with Slav, but also for Slav with the players, because there wasn't much of a pre-season. So it's been kind of a getting to know everybody, and new faces coming in, so a new injection maybe of confidence and belief and desire to prove themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't argue with anything you just said there, John. We keep harping back to pre-season and how it was curtailed a bit through various things. I think that the time for blaming kind of pre-season is over now, because we've certainly had enough games and they've had enough training sessions. It will take a bit of time for the new players to integrate themselves into the team, obviously, with the settling down period. But again, they're professional footballers, they know their job, they've been brought to the club for a reason, they're the players Slav obviously wanted. So it won't take long before everything settles down, and we should really see a better picture of how this Sheffield United team is going to evolve over the next few months. And the signs are looking good, as I've just said. We're
going to be hearing from Robin Olsen a little bit later on, but getting the big Swedish goalkeeper, that's really quite a coup, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. I know he made a mistake for the goal earlier in the week, but he made some fantastic saves to actually keep us in the game. It could have been worse. So I think, it takes time for keepers to settle in, especially. I think they make one mistake, everyone sees it. They're the last line of defence. I mean, like, as I say, forwards make mistakes and they don't put the ball in the back of the net, and no one's really speaking about it too much. So I think it's a great coup. He's a fantastic keeper. He'll bring a calmness to the team as well.
350 odd appearances, plus an established international, played with Sweden in major competitions. He's got that, I would imagine, that strength of personality and that secure presence behind the back four, which is going to really instill confidence.
Yeah, exactly. That amount of experience isn't to be sniffed at all. And as I say, he made the mistake in the game, and I think younger keepers, less experience, that would have had a massive impact on the game. But as I say, he went through the game, he still made some fantastic saves, kept Blades in the game till and then we got the Berge the goal for 2-1, and you think at 84 minutes, right, that's a winner. Unfortunately, we couldn't stay in the game and it ended a draw, but he will win us points this season without a doubt.
We're going to be talking in more detail a little bit later on, Kevin, about Billy Sharp, 300th appearance today, and at his, well, you don't like to say advanced age, do you? Let's call him experienced age. He's performing terrifically well.
Yeah, he just keeps going and going and going, doesn't it? It really is amazing. I think players these days, with the sports scientists and the conditionists and things like that, they do look after themselves a bit better than perhaps in my era, let's say. But he's just remarkable athlete. The way he just keeps maintaining his fitness levels. And I've already said in the pre-game shows other times that this display against Peterborough was quite outstanding. He didn't score, obviously, which is unusual when Sheffield United scored that many goals and Billy Sharp didn't get one of them. But a couple of assists, but his general all-round play was on a different level. I think it's probably the best all-round performance I've ever seen from Billy Sharp. I'll go that far. It was tremendous.
I was watching a piece on Sky, actually. They'd been out and interviewed Billy in a pub up in Woodseats, would you believe? But They were saying and talking about the fact that he's such a terrific ambassador for Sheffield United and indeed for Sheffield as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just what he brings on the pitch, it's off the pitch as well. We saw the relationship he has with fans, and obviously a certain fan in particular, so that was lovely to see. But I think it's very important in terms of, especially when you're getting young players and new players into the club, he's the one that you look at, and this is how we conduct ourselves, this is what we do as a Blade, and yeah, he's the embodiment of Sheffield United.
He, of course, is playing today, and we can bring you now probably what you've been waiting for in this early stage of our preview, and that's the team news. Let's have a look at the Sheffield United lineup today, and here we go. And what's your initial impressions of that one, Kevin? First starting place in the lineup for Conor Hourihane.
Yeah, obviously decent player, better than decent, experienced international, Premiership player with Aston Villa. So he's been brought here for a reason, and he's not going to kick his heels on the bench. So he's been given an opportunity. A little bit harsh on Norwood because he's been playing okay and certainly dictating our play when we've got on top of teams. It's down here in the last 2 home games. We expected Ben Davies to come back in as soon as he was fit. Slightly, I'm going to go out on a limb and say slightly harsh on Robinson, because although he's made a mistake, he's actually been playing quite well for us. He's been defending very, very well, winning his headers and winning his tackles. So that's not to say I wouldn't bring Davies in, because I think that's the right decision. But a little bit unfortunate for Robinson. I think he's got a little bit of too much flack, and he doesn't really deserve it.
Any more thoughts on the lineup there, Courtney?
I think Gibbs White obviously is the big one. He's the man in form at the moment, isn't he? So he's come in, hit the ground running, and I think that's what you want when new players come into the squad. You want them to come in and do what they're paid for. But again, Hourihane as well, I think he is a fantastic signing and will really give us a kick this season that we need.
And strikers, Billy in there again on his 300th appearance. He'll be desperate to get a goal to celebrate, won't he?
Well, he's always desperate to get a goal. That's what he's about, isn't he? Billy Sharp scores goals. He's undroppable at the moment for all the reasons I've just been speaking about. His link-up play is great. He wins fouls, uses experience, as Courtney probably does as well, being in the same position. But backs into defenders, holds the ball up, wins fouls. Unfortunately, gave a crucial one away the other night, but we'll skim over that. And more often than not, he's in the box, sniffing out chances. If he gets half a chance, he usually hits the target, and more often than not, it goes in the back of the net.
And if they're short of goals early in the match, there's plenty of options for Slav on that bench. McBurney, Brewster and others.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the beauty of bringing the players in and making sure that we've got not just a great 11 but a squad that is capable of winning games. And again, we saw it in the week. Berge came off the bench and he gets the goal. So I think it's important for the team as well to make sure that there's competition, so that if you're not performing, in training on a match day, thinking, right, I've got to be on it because I know there's someone on the bench that's going to come in and take my place.
Ollie McBurney and Rhian Brewster, big money signings, they're on the bench. How much is that going to be hurting them? How much is that going to be giving their pride a little bit of a kick, Kevin?
Well, I was just about to say the same word you've just used. It's about pride. There's 45-50 million pounds worth of talent there that we've invested in over the last couple of seasons, and they're kicking their heels on the bench. And it's up to them to prove themselves on the pitch when they get an opportunity and force their way into the side. I have to say, the way Billy's playing at the moment, they're not going to be in the side, and I think the way Slav wants his front players to work, with Gibbs White and Dye, who's been rested today, with being very fluid and moving around, that's not really certainly not McBurney's game, and not really Brewster's game. He's an out-and-out kind of striker, so they may have to adapt the way they play, and we'll wait to see if that's going to be possible for them.
Desperate to prove a point when their chance arrives, if it arrives.
Well, that's what you've got to do when you're sitting on the bench and you come on. You've got to come on and prove your point. There may be times in the season where, we've said we like to be fluid going forward, but there might be times in the season where it changes the game plan depending on who we're playing. So it might mean that someone like a McBurney or a Brewster comes on, and when they're given that chance, they need to take it.
Well, that's looking at our lineup for the match this afternoon. Time now, I think, to take a little look back at the match during the week and that 2-2 draw, and this is the highlights that we can bring you.
We're underway here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United against Preston North End in the Sky Bet Championship. Sharp with his arm raised in the penalty area. Freeman's cross was looking for enjoyment for Gibbs White, and another goal for Morgan Gibbs White. Dream start to his Sheffield United career. It's 2-2 for the Wolves low knee. 7 minutes gone. Sheffield United 1, Preston North End 0. The cross goes in, and that was a chance for Billy Sharp. He just got blocked off a little bit there. Olsen comes, and under a bit of pressure, he's done really well. Letson goes direct, looking for Johnson, and Johnson's away here, and Johnson, the keeper's in no man's land, and Daniel Johnson has equalised, and from nowhere, Preston have levelled. Blades 1, Preston 1. Norrington-Davies advanced, early cross as well, it's a good one, and Sharp got a foot to the ball, it's out the cross. And then Norwood, decent hit. Now Norwood, Bulldogs low cross, Freeman, that was a chance. Now Billy Sharp in the area. Great challenge by Bauer. Emil Rhys into the area. Rhys with a shot across goal. Gibbs White over the wall for the bar. John Fleck, and Brewster wanted it, but Fleck's going to go himself. What a run this is by John Fleck! Terrific save by the goalkeeper. It's good play. Brewster from distance. Well, that's a lovely ball from Johnson. Rhys is through here. That's a great save by Olsen. John Fleck, and Gibbs White continues his run. Sharp's in there too. Billy Sharp just runs away from him. Comes for Sander Berge. Ah! Sander Berge, the substitute. Has he won it for Sheffield United? Knee slide in front of the Kop. The Norwegians' first goal of the season, a crucial one. 84 minutes gone. Sheffield United 2, Preston North End 1. Now Gibbs White, can they finish it here? Sheffield United, Billy Sharp, saved by the goalkeeper. Edson floats it forward. It's flicked on by a Sheffield United head. Chance here maybe. Rhys, and he stabs it in. Emil Rhys, with 30 seconds of the added 5 remaining, has snatched a point for Preston. Blades 2, Preston 2.
Well, we were all disappointed with that, weren't we? Because it really did look as though it was going to be 3 points in the bag. And to concede that goal so late, Courtney, I mean, agonising.
Yeah, it's not what you want to do. There's a couple of times now this season as well where Blades have conceded late, so maybe that's something they've got to look at in terms of concentration or game management towards the end of the game. But yeah, it's sickening. But I will go back to the fact that we had a lot of chances, like the John Fleck one, for example. He's got to be scoring that. So there's chances that
if you the target.
Yeah, got to be hitting the target. And once you go 3-1 up, 4-1 up, then you don't give the team another chance to get back into it.
What stood out for you from that? I mean, Gibbs White, I think, Kevin, he's really made a difference, and that was a cracking goal.
Yeah, he's took it very, very well. That's a very difficult chance, that's easy to sky over the bar, and he's kept it down on the stretch as well. Yeah, he's made a big difference. He's very agile. He's athletic. He's powerful. He's got a turn of pace. He's good on the ball. He's just a good all-round footballer. A Premiership quality footballer. He's obviously hit the ground running with us and got his goals, but he could be a real key player for us this season.
He looks class, doesn't he, Courtney?
Yeah, he looks very good. He brings just a little bit more quality, and I think he's calm as well, because as I say, Blades have created lots of chances through the season. I think there's almost sometimes a bit of a desperation to snatch at it or at least hit the target, whereas he just brings a calmness.
I have to ask you, as we just watch more of the highlights. And there's that terrific
great finish
strike again. What a great finish that
Fantastic finish. Just strokes it into the back of the net. Doesn't try and hit the lever off it. It's just hitting the target and putting it in corners.
I've got to ask you, though, as well, as we watched that one again, and it really was a beautifully taken goal, about the debut of Robin Olsen. I mean, he's going to have nightmares about that first goal, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there. I think both him and Norrington-Davies have made poor decisions. Norrington-Davies has let the runner go, and obviously I don't know if Olsen had many touches the ball up to that stage. But yeah, he's made a poor decision there.
But didn't he atone brilliantly after that?
Yeah, of course he did. His handling was excellent. He came for a couple of really difficult high balls and he caught everything basically. So his handling was spot on. There's the one-on-one save where he's just made his body big and the ball has hit him and deflected over the bar. But that's what keepers are there for, to be big and strong and intimidating when there's a one-on-one. So yeah, I agree with Courtney. He's going to be an absolutely key signing for us this season. And we know how important goalkeepers are, because we had Henderson for Dean Henderson for a couple of years. He was outstanding for us and a big part of our success. So it really is a key position for us.
Courtney, I've got to just talk about that goal though, and the fact that it came from a free kick. We've talked at length about how superbly Billy Sharp's been playing so far. Certainly in the last 2 or 3 games, he really has looked good. But was that a bit of an attacker's tackle that gave that away? It
was a bit of a tired tackle, wasn't it? I think he's getting towards the end of the game, as we say. It's not just what he does on the ball, off the ball. He's constantly harrying and chasing defenders. I think his legs have gone a little bit. It's a poor tackle. Although we talk about good and bad tackles, it's not the worst one in the world to give away. It's on the halfway line. So I think as much as we shouldn't be giving that away, equally leading to that and going forward, the defending from it. I mean, it's from the halfway line. It's a long ball punted in, and we've not dealt with it efficiently, I don't think.
Well, Sander Berge, he got that goal to put United 2-1 up in the 84th minute, and I guess he must really at that point think that's pretty much job done. Wasn't to be though, and afterwards he gave us his reaction to that disappointing draw.
Sander, how would you reflect on a draw tonight against Preston?
I'm gutted. I think we started out very strong. Got the momentum, got the early goal, which helped us. But obviously, I think they stood well. They were clever. They fought hard. They played long balls. They switched the play, and they played on their physique and their strengths. And they managed to stop a little bit the rhythm in our game. I didn't felt we came up to our best level today, but we had our moments in the game, and obviously with the game going on second half, we built more into it, got chances, got the goal, but then unfortunately in the end we couldn't hold on, and that's obviously very disappointing.
Is it doubly frustrating because against Huddersfield the team scores a late goal, then concedes shortly after, and it's happened again tonight?
Yeah, it's awful when it happens twice, and we have to learn from that, because can't keep on doing this, and we know if you don't go up with 2, every championship team can come back in the game, especially when they're strong, physical and good on set pieces. So we have to make sure we either control the game or make sure we create and score enough goals to keep them away.
Can you give us a player's perspective on what some of the issues are defensively at the minute? Because Sheffield United look a real threat going forward. You are controlling games with possession, but you're conceding avoidable goals.
I think it's a balance, we have to figure out how to attack, but still also make sure we're balanced enough to keep them away. At the moment we're probably a little bit open in general, and we want to go forward. We have a lot of quality, but we just have to be more composed probably, and keep the balance, all of us, and know when to press and read the game. Obviously we had a game in our hand today. The last thing that happens is a free kick from their halfway line, which they score on. So I think we just have to work and improve, and obviously we're playing a different style of football, which means a lot of more ball possession, but then you also need to be more in balance every time you attack.
Sander Berge talking about playing a different style of football and getting used to that, Kevin. If United are going to haul themselves up the league and move towards, we hope, a promotion place, Sander is such an important man.
100%, yeah. There's no finer sight, I think, for Blades fans than Sander Berge on one of his driving runs forward in that inside right or right hand side channel, and he's got so much ability, and he sometimes drives us mad because we want more from him. I do understand that he can't race around and do those runs all the time, and he's got this kind of languid, easy going
languid's
style.
The word, isn't it?
So he's very composed on the ball, but when he chooses to make those driving runs, there's no stopping him. He's got so much to give, and he came on as sub the other night. And let me tell you, you don't want to see him coming on sub if you're an opposition player. He's 6'5". He's extremely quick, you won't believe, but he's extremely quick and strong. He's just a nightmare to play against. And if we can get him integrated somewhere into this side, maybe in a more attacking role rather than to have him as a sitting midfielder, which I think he kind of made his name abroad as, I think we could have a real player on our hands here.
Courtney, one word that sort of strikes me whenever I see Sander play: stylish.
Stylish, yeah. He reminds me of a bit of a Paul Pogba, as you say, the way that he's quite calm on the ball, he's composed. Sometimes he almost looks effortless. He's got a big stature as well, fast. He really does remind me of a Paul Pogba, but again, it's a similar thing. We've got to get him in his best position. He doesn't need to, I know he's, as I say, made his name as a defensive midfielder, but he's got so much ability. Let the defenders do that. Let him get forward. Let him commit players, because he's very clever clever with how he uses the ball as well.
Right, well, let's continue our look ahead to this afternoon's match. And time now, I think, to hear from the managers, Slaviša Jokanović.
Slaviša, how would you assess a draw tonight against Preston North End?
We are definitely really disappointed after everything what happened, especially in the last few seconds. At the end, typical championship game, we try for one side, another side. We are created more things, but in last second we didn't be enough strong, enough focused and concentrated, and we made some mistakes and paid really expensive.
You've played some very good football at times, scored some good goals, but defensive errors have cost you again, just like Huddersfield, haven't they?
Okay, we know they are biggest and tallest team than us. We know can happen this kind of the situation, but anyway, you must to survive this kind of the situation. We didn't do it today enough good in a few seconds, because I didn't be satisfied how we play extra time. We stay with the ball. We have the possession. We didn't give them any chance for regularize it, but it's after one situation, after our bad few seconds, we pay a really expensive price.
What are some of the issues defensively though? Because a long ball on a couple of occasions caught you out, and all of a sudden they've got a player running through. It's a bad goal to give away right at the end as well. What are some of the issues that are hurting you defensively at the minute?
Okay, we know more or less how they attack. They didn't surprise us with first and the second goal too. We didn't be enough good. We want to be offensive team. We want to press forward. And then exist some space behind of us. They score in this way first goal. We have some problems where they switch the ball. Is probably we can press a little bit more forward. From the other side is we must to survive this kind of situation. This kind of situation we will find it during all the season. At the end, we must to be still more calm, more focused and concentrated. Where I'm talking especially about second goal.
Manager, understandably, a bit disappointed now, turning his attention to Hull City this afternoon, and a reminder that SUTV Live is free and available to all Blades fans between now and 12:30. And for all the details around broadcasting regulations surrounding this afternoon's match, just go to sufc.co.uk, and there you'll find everything that you need to know. sufc.co.uk. Well, we've already had a look at the Sheffield United team, and we'll recap again on the lineup for this afternoon's game, but let's take a look as well at Hull City. Now, Hull's problem has been scoring goals. They won on the opening day, hit the net 4 times, but they've not found it since.
Yes, that sometimes creates problems because they're due a goal, you could say, but they are a bit blunt in attack. They don't create an awful lot. Their expected goals is only 0.8 per game, so that tells you that they're not a very creative side. Struggling a bit, so it's up to us to go and get after them and play our style, impose our style of play on them. And I think the points could be here for the taking. There's 1 or 2 decent players. They've got 2 very quick wide players, Malik Wilkes and Keane Lewis-Potter. They stay wide, and they do like to hit them occasionally with the long ball that's caught us out a few times. So especially the one over our left back, the Norrington-Davies spot, they will look to get beyond him using the pace of Malik Wilkes. And also Josh McGuinness up front. He's a big, tall centre forward, puts himself about typical, let's say, English centre forward. So they can go direct at times as well. So we're not going to have it all our own way, but I think we've got enough in the tank to get through this.
Would you expect Sheffield United to be dominating territorially, Courtney?
Yeah, I would do, but we've got to make sure that we make that count, because you can talk about all the stats and the possession, but the real stat that counts is the scoreline at the end. But I think they've got quite a young back 4 as well, so if we can impose ourselves on them, especially with the experience that we've got, I think it could be a good day for Blades.
Fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Well, let's take a look at the Sheffield United lineup once again. And this is the team that Slaviša has put together for this visit to Hull. What's your thoughts on that one, Courtney?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a fantastic team that's now starting to gel. I like Norrington-Davies a lot as well. I think he's got a sublime left foot. I love watching him, and he's doing well in terms of getting the balls in the box. So now, you know, we've got to get Billy Sharp, Morgan Gibbs-White on the end of those fantastic balls that he's putting in.
Ben Davies back in the team, important?
Yeah, he's an experienced defender. I think he gives us a lovely bit of balance in there. I'm hoping he's not going to make any crucial errors that unfortunately Robertson, has made that's resulted in goals, which is why everybody's picking up on it, as I mentioned. Just going back to the team, I understand Njai being rested because he couldn't have done any more in the last 2 games. He's obviously hit the ground running and been a breath of fresh air for Sheffield United going forward. But I think it's probably right to take him out of the team after what he's experienced in this last week and all the hullabaloo around him. So just let him have a step back and let him have a watch, and he might be involved on Tuesday night, of course, in the Cup.
And so many options on the bench. Slavica can change it big time if he needs to.
Well, exactly, and it's a fantastic problem to have when you're thinking, right, which players do I keep in, which players do I sit on the bench? But I think you're cultivating as well a good environment, I feel like. So the fact that these players on the bench, they won't be thinking, I'm sat on the bench and I'm not very happy. They'll be raring to come on and help their team. And as we know, with the Championship and the Cup, it's such a congested fixture list that everyone will get their chance at some point.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you coverage, of course, of the Cup match on Tuesday night, Sheffield United against Southampton. And wouldn't it be nice to be going into that buoyed by 3 points? And I mean, wouldn't it be great, okay, only for a matter of an hour or two, but to say we're in the top half of the table?
Yeah, far better position than we were 3 or 4 weeks ago, yeah. As I say, the performances haven't been awful all season, let's be honest. We've just been struggling to score at crucial times and made a few silly errors at the back. So the league table, it's not really important at this stage of the season, but I think for everybody's point of view, when you click it on social media or you see it in the newspaper, you don't want to be seen languishing down the bottom, do you? You want to be top half and top 6. So the quicker we get up there, the better for all concerned. You
just touch on social media there. How much do the players actually look at it and care about it and hear the views of the fans?
Yeah.
Are they really connected in that way?
Yeah, quite a lot. I think everyone's different in terms of how much they want to be on it, because obviously there's always the positives, but with that comes the negatives. But yeah, I think as players we normally always have like a WhatsApp group chat, and certain things get put in there. Not necessarily always the fans, but maybe what opposition players and opposition managers are saying as well. So yeah, we're always aware of what's going on, but I think there's the balance of also not having it too much, not getting too buoyed.
Paranoid.
Yeah, not get paranoid, not get too bogged down with the negatives, but also not getting ahead of yourselves when you're in a good place as well.
Now, one person, of course, who just never gets bogged down by the negatives, seemingly, is the captain, Billy Sharp. 300th appearance today for Sheffield United. It's a milestone.
Yeah, I mean, millions of words and have been written and spoken about Billy Sharp. So and his record speaks for itself. The goals he's got, his goals to games ratio is fantastic. He's an out-and-out goal scorer. I've talked about the way he's led the line and led by example already earlier in the show. Just a fantastic Sheffield United stalwart, I think the term is. This is third time lucky for Billy, isn't it? Because he's had 3 kind of spells at the club. This is by far and away his best spell. And the last 5 years, when he came back to the club 5-6 years ago, he couldn't have expected what was going to happen to not just him, but the club as a whole. And he seems to be like a fine wine. He's maturing with age, isn't he?
We love to see him as a player and scoring these wonderful goals, which we're watching here and reliving some of the glory moments. But, so important on the pitch, but off the pitch, he's such a good bloke.
Yeah, we're running out of superlatives, aren't we, with him? But as I say, I think it's so important, especially a captain, to lead by example, not just on the pitch by what they do, but how they conduct themselves off it. And I think he's perfect for that. And as you say, he's bringing experience. We keep mentioning his age. Let's just say 25 plus VAT and leave it at that.
I'm sure he'd take that. How long do you think he can keep going? I mean, he's in great form now. You'd certainly think he's going to see out this season as a pivotal part of the team.
Yeah, I'm guilty of maybe writing him off, 18 months ago, I have to be honest. And I didn't really see him featuring. And if he was going to be around, I thought he would be 20 minutes off the bench if we need a goal, sniffing a goal out. And that is a role he can perform, obviously. So he constantly surprises me with how he keeps getting in the side, and his performances dictate that you can't drop him. I mentioned when he's undroppable at the moment.
I bet he hates the idea of being viewed as just an impact player as well as a sub who's going to make a difference.
Yeah, without a doubt. So he's probably hearing that, and it's giving him the push. And as Kev said earlier, in terms of the sports science and everything else behind it in football now, it changes, you know, how long players can go on for. He obviously looks after himself really well, and yeah, he's proving a few people wrong. So I bet he's loving that as well.
Yeah, it's great. It really is great to see. Now, one player back in the lineup today is Ben Osborn. A couple of goals in his match against Peterborough, looking as though he's in form, getting forward, producing some good runs, some good strikes. Now, let's hear from him when he arrived at the ground this afternoon.
They trained Thursday and then, yeah, all good to go.
I assume it wasn't excessive celebrating after Saturday, was it?
No, it wasn't. Reckon it was some kind of norovirus. So yeah, it just hit me out of nowhere, but luckily it didn't last too long.
After the 2 goals on Saturday, that must have been bitterly disappointing that you couldn't take your place in the team on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of them. Like, after such a great win, like, I was looking forward to getting in the next day and preparing for Tuesday. So I was still trying to remain hopeful that I might be able to make it, but it just came too quick. I was still in a bit of a bad way by Tuesday.
But the gaffers put you straight back into the team for today's game against Hull. That must be a big boost for you personally.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition for places now, so grateful to get another chance and hopefully can start where I finished last game.
Ben Osborn there, and he's going to be absolutely champing at the bit, Courtney, wanting to get out there and continue where he was playing so well against Peterborough.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard. He's had to come out of the squad because of illness, and I think as a player that's one of the worst things, whether it's illness or injury, especially when you feel like you're playing well, scoring goals, and you want to keep that momentum. But I'm sure, you know, he's had his time to rest now, and he's ready to go.
Do you think the way in which he was playing, the way in which he's getting forward, making these runs, getting into attacking positions, is that indicative of the change that Slavisa Jokanovic is trying to bring to Bramall Lane, Kevin?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been noticeable how much Ben's been getting forward, whether he's been given a bit more licence to roam and to get into those positions. Certainly, I mean, the goals he's got against Peterborough, he's arrived at the near post from a wide left wing back or left midfield position. So that's a good position to be in from out there. So maybe the manager has said to him, you know, just do whatever you feel comfortable with and join in with the attack. And he's done remarkably well, actually, because I think at the start of the season, most of us would have seen him as a squad player at best. You know, maybe making the odd appearance when people are injured or suspended. And the way he's grabbed his opportunity, you can see him getting a regular starting berth on that left-hand side. And the competition is now fierce in midfield. He's fortunate that he's left-footed as well, so he gives us that nice bit of balance on the left. But you've got John Fleck and Hourihane, both naturally left-footed players there. So it's unusual, actually. We've got 3 kind of central midfield players, all with a lovely left foot in a team.
And no team would relish playing against an opposition who have such strength down that flank.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're looking at that and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a day for us. So I think that obviously the whole right-hand side won't be very happy. But again, it's about us exploiting that. But I think Osborn is fantastic. He's got power, pace, but the way that he arrives in the box at the right times as well. And I think that's something I've seen progressing him, especially from last season. He was there and abouts and he was trying to get in, but maybe just half a second off. But, you know, it's not luck when players arrive in the box at the right place at the right time. It's about timing, and you can see he's starting to get that now.
So what changes, what improvement would you be looking for if you were Slavisa Jokanovic going into this match this afternoon against Hull City? What do you think he'll be looking to see a development from what was produced in the last 2?
Well, in all honesty, I wouldn't be looking for too many changes. Certainly in the attacking sense, I think we've got more than enough flair and creativity in the side these days, and we've got options on the bench, as we've already mentioned. I think where the improvement obviously is going to have to be made is in the defensive aspect of our game. You know, we are not used to giving away silly goals, and we've had our success over the years, basically having a very strong defensive unit. You know, Baldock, Egan, O'Connell when he was here, Ender Stevens. We've always been very, very solid at the back. We've got Chris Basham on the bench, you know, who's been fantastic for us as well. And it's unfortunate for him he's not being considered or not around at the moment. So I think we just got to tighten up defensively, cut out the silly mistakes. Unfortunately, all our silly defensive mistakes seem to be costing us goals as well, which has been unfortunate. Sometimes you can get away with them, but we're not getting away with anything at the moment. So yeah, a little bit of tighten up at the back, but going forward, as you were, boys, go out and keep doing the things that have got you this far.
And Hull City, Courtney, back into the Championship, but they've had this tough start. I mean, they're going to be going into this match with more than a little bit of trepidation.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's about momentum in football, and when you get into a run where you're losing game after game, it's difficult to see where the points are going to come from. So I think we've got to be wary of them though also, because sometimes when your backs are against the wall, sometimes you feel like you've got nothing to lose. But I think for me, for Blade today, just being a little bit more clinical in the final third, and as Kev said, cutting out those silly mistakes. And I think it's because we're going forward so much and we're getting better with that. Sometimes you switch off defensively, so just making sure that we manage the game and going forward as you were, but put the ball in the back of the net.
Not so long, Kevin, since Hull were a Premiership team, and then they went down again, and it goes to show the danger of what can happen.
Yes, teams slide down, don't? Oh, here we go. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know all about Hull City. When I played for them, they were bottom of the League Two, and in a right old mess. So they've obviously got themselves sorted out through then. They've had one or two financial issues. We've only got to look across the city to see where financial issues get you. Derby, of course, now struggling big style in the Championship.
Could be losing 21 points.
Yeah, so clubs have to be sensible, I think, with their finances and build in the right way. And that's we touched on this the other week. And hopefully Sheffield United will, are doing that for the long-term benefit of the whole football club. Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress, isn't it? And Slav's got a 3-year contract here, and he'll be doing things the right way.
He certainly will, and we all of course want to see the results, but we also want to see the place run in a business-like manner. And what we don't need is the sort of situation that they've got in Derby now, with the news that they could be losing as many as 21 points as a result of financial irregularities. Well, now let's concentrate and take a look at our goalkeeper Robin Olsen, who's really doing his best to try and quickly fit into his new club.
It's not easy, but of course I wanted to play the game like everybody else who play football. They want to play games, but it will take time. I mean, it's a new team, new teammates, new coaches and everything, but hopefully I can learn it quickly and do well.
And to work for a manager like Slavisa Jokanovic, who's got promotions on his CV at other clubs in the Championship too as well, I would imagine.
No, but that's good. He have done it before, and if we just continue to listen to him and trust him, then I'm sure that we will. I cannot promise, but I'm sure that we will do everything we can to reach the directly places to Premier League. I will do everything I can, and I know that the lads in the team will do the same.
How good for you, though, is it that you have stretched out in front of you the opportunity to play regular first-team football week in, week out now?
No, of course, it's important to play. I didn't play so much last season, so much as I wanted, but I think I did well in those games I played. But yeah, it's always good to play a lot of games. So if I can do it here and get my games in the national team as well, then it would be good.
Robin Olsen, and it was an old Brian Clough adage, wasn't it, Kevin, that you had to have the spine of the team right. You know, I mean, okay, it's going back a year or two, and apologies to some of our younger viewers, but you know, Cloughy had Schultz, and if Sheffield United are going to actually really progress this year, you feel that guy's really important.
Yes, obviously. I mean, the thing with Robin is it's not a gamble. It's not a gamble signing. He's proven international quality keeper. He also knows English football very well. Obviously, he's been at Everton, isn't he? For, as understudy to Pickford. So he knows England. He knows English football. He'll settle in very quickly. Yeah, you see his record there. I mean, you don't get 50 caps for your for your country, and 24 clean sheets is good, by the way, isn't it?
Don't do
That's
that
a
by
good
accident,
ratio.
do you?
Yeah, you're obviously a quality keeper. He showed his quality the other night, not just with a couple of saves, but his handling was very impressive. He came for a very difficult high ball once and claimed that under a lot of pressure. And I used to play in defence quite throughout my career, and let me tell you, if you've got a 6'5" keeper commanding his penalty area, you're a happy defender.
And Courtney, a mature, composed individual who just brings so much experience, and that's got to be important.
Yeah, it's massive. He'll bring it around the squad in training and also on a match day. And, you know, even as a forward, I agree with Kevin in terms of when you've got a keeper that just exudes that calmness and you feel calm throughout the team, that just then emanates. It's when you've got a bit of an erratic keeper that maybe you don't trust, and it emanates through the team, whether that's positive or negative, and I think he will bring that to Berge, that positive. And as you say, you don't get that many international clean sheets for no reason.
And he's going to love having the run of first team action, which would appear pretty much guaranteed provided he stays fit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a big thing for a keeper in terms of having the confidence from the manager and just knowing that you're the number one, you're the guy between the sticks. And keepers, we always talk about them being a bit of a strange breed, but they will relish that. He will relish being the number one.
A strange breed. That's any strange breed goalkeepers.
Plenty.
You're going to tell us 1 or 2 names?
Oh, well, I mean, I roomed with Dave Bessett at Wimbledon and then Nigel Spink at Aston Villa. In fact, I've roomed with most of the goalkeepers throughout my career. I don't know how that's worked out. I was roommates with Alan Kelly, obviously, he's a Sheffield United legend down here. So yeah, they're a bit weird. Perhaps why they chose me as a roommate, I don't know.
I was going to say that, but anyway, moving swiftly on. Just a reminder that the Blades are next in action in the League Cup on Tuesday here at Bramall Lane when they play host to the Premier League opposition in the form of Southampton. We're going to be on air from 7 o'clock, bringing you all the build-up to that game, and I'll be in the hot seat and joined by Kevin, of course, who will be providing commentary as well, and Carl Asaba for that match. Let's hope Sheffield United can progress in the Cup. Fingers crossed once again. Well, now we've got, about 10 or 11 minutes to go now until kick-off, and we're continuing our pre-match build-up now by bringing you an SUTV live exclusive. Here's Rhys Norrington-Davies speaking to Matt Young.
In the last couple of games, it started to come together. I mean, obviously playing out from the back, but more in the attacking third. I feel like our link-up plays sort of come together, especially in the last couple of games, and we're creating more chances, which is obviously something that we needed to work on because we hadn't been scoring goals. And obviously in the last couple of games we scored goals, so no, it's good. It's good.
During the international break, how much did it help the team to get some consistent work with no Tuesday night game?
Yeah, no, obviously it allows the gaffer and obviously the players to work on stuff out on the training pitch, and obviously it gives us 2 weeks to prepare. Obviously going into that Peterborough game. So obviously it's allowed players to gel together and obviously work on new stuff.
You've had a consistent run now in the side. How much have you enjoyed playing in this starting 11 for Sheffield United?
Yeah, no, it's been great. Obviously for myself, coming through the academy, obviously it's just a moment you obviously have to be patient for, and obviously with this gaffer I've been given the opportunity, so for me now it's obviously trying to keep myself in the team, but no, it's been good recently.
Working with Slavica Jokanovic and his coaching staff, how much do you think you've improved under his tutelage?
Yeah, no, obviously the gaffer speaks to me regularly. And obviously keeps on giving me points that I need to work on, and it's still early days, but I like to think I'm improving game in, game out, and obviously there's a lot more to come still.
The games are coming thick and fast now. What would you make of this challenge from Hull City?
Yeah, I mean obviously we're going to focus on ourselves. It's a big game on Saturday. We'd like to get the 3 points, and I feel we've got enough obviously in the changing room to go and win the game, so it's just about doing what we've been doing well recently, creating opportunities and obviously scoring.
Rhys Norrington-Davies saying he just wants to improve game on game, match by match, and I think it's fair to say he's certainly doing that, Kevin. You know, I mean, you said earlier that earlier in the season you were thinking this is a guy who's going to be a squad player, but he's showing himself to be rather more.
Yeah, he's settled in very, very well. We expected him to actually, because he'd been on loan at Stoke and Luton previous season and done very well indeed. I do like him actually. I want him to tighten up defensively, because he's got caught out once or twice with long balls over the top. I think he's actually more of an attacking fullback rather than just a purely defensive fullback. So but I think a lot of those defensive situations will come with experience and playing more games and settling down into this back four. But certainly he's got competition when Enda Stevens comes back, because if Enda did very, very well for us in that left-back's berth. Yeah, he's settled in well. I do like his deliveries as well. He's got a beautiful left foot, and he seems to get lovely bit of curl and flight on the ball at the right height, the right pace. So when he's got the opportunity, you know, to deliver those crosses in from the left, looking forward to seeing him continue on making progress in the team.
Courtney, how highly do you rate him?
Yeah, I think he's a forward dream. As I say, when you're looking at that delivery, it's fantastic. The way he whips it, the amount of pace, but the curl he gets on it as well. And I think lefties always have that, you know, they look just a bit more special when they whip that one. But I think for me as well, he gets up well and he gets the balls in the box, but I think sometimes his decision making, it almost comes, although it's a great delivery, slightly predictable. I'd like to see him drive in the box at times and just change it up, just so, you know, the defenders haven't got the number on him. And again, defensively he needs to tighten up, but that comes with time and that comes with experience. And I think, you know, for the future, he's a fantastic player, and he's saying all the right things in terms of he wants to improve, he wants that experience. And I think, you know, as a young player, you need to be a sponge to take that all in and want to learn.
Kevin, we're going to be losing you shortly because you're going to be going away to take part in our commentary for the match this afternoon. If you were Slavisa Jokanovic in that dressing room right now, what sort of things would you be telling the players?
As I spoke about earlier, I think it's just go out and keep playing in the vein you have. I think we've got to play positively, go forward, run forward, pass forward at the right times. I'd be paying special attention to, or having special words with the defenders, and saying let's just be solid and secure, don't take any chances. I don't want to see us pass back to the goalkeeper too much, because as comfortable as Robin Olsen is, I think we're giving far too many issues. There's far too many issues with passing back to the keeper and trying to play out from too deep at the back. I think we just need to tighten up in the defensive areas.
Well, that's the interpretation of Kevin Gage, who's heading off to his commentary duties now. But now let's hear from the man himself. Here's Slavisa Jokanovic.
We check some games. We know more or less what we can expect for they. Actually, right now they are team who is working hard without considering so many goals. But for another side, they have the problem for score the goal. For our side, I hope we will dominate the game. We need to be focusing and concentrating our starting position about where we lost the ball. We need to concentrate about our press after the loss, about track back, about even tactical fouls in this kind of the situation. I believe we are dominate them more than they will dominate us. But for another side is defensively they are organized the team, and we need to try and right spaces for where we need to attack them and where we can make them damage.
Made his impact, of course, off the bench the other day, but how do you see Sander Berge fitting in as a regular starter?
Sander Berge is important player for us. He's in different position in midfield. At the end, I understand we need to add more passes, and I try use him in a little bit no usual position for him. He play good from one side, and from another side, even he scored the goal. It's for me, it's more important how I will finish the game and how I will start the game. At the end, I am especially not satisfied how we are finished the few games at the home, and who will start is like always is 11. If in this 11 will be Sander Berge or not, he will be important players in all the cases. Apart this 11, somebody will be on the bench, and I will send people on the stand too.
Let's hope there are more goals to talk about this afternoon. It looks as though it's pretty good conditions for a great game of football. What's your final thoughts as we run up to this? I always start to feel a bit nervous when you're at this stage. Would the players be feeling those nerves, or would everybody be cool, calm and collected?
I think they'll be calm and collected. I think they'll know their jobs and what they're ready to do. I think sometimes there is a little bit of nerves, but I think that's always a good thing, that little bit of nervous energy ready to go on the pitch. But I think, you know, it's there for the taking for the Blades. They've built on good performances, and as I say, just a little bit more clinical, and we might get another 6 goals. You never know.
Oh, is that your prediction then? It's going to be Hull City 0, Sheffield United 6, is it? That'll be good.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. I'll probably be slightly more conservative. I'll go for a 3-0. I think a clean sheet today is very important for the Blades after conceding that late goal.
How important is it, just in the couple of minutes or so before we hand over to our commentators, how important do you see it being for United to get a great start, to put Hull under the cosh from word go?
Yeah, I think especially because the place that Hull have been in, if they get, you know, put them under the cosh, get an early goal, they're probably sitting there thinking, oh, here we go again, another loss. And then if Blades can keep building on that, and as I say, the important thing for me is if they keep a clean sheet, I think that'll do Blades the world of good as well.
Travelling army of support. I know there were thousands and thousands of tickets snapped up in no time at all. That fantastic travelling support that the Blades always have, that's going to be a big thing at Hull as well.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you know, we've said how much throughout the pandemic we've missed the fans, and having them back in has been absolutely unbelievable. I think it's even more important obviously on away days when you've got that big travelling noise, and again, if Blades go up early, you know, those travelling fans, they'll make themselves known for sure.
Let's hope we're talking about a Sheffield United victory a little bit later on. You can check our broadcasting regulations on sufc.co.uk. But if you can, please now settle back and enjoy the commentary in the hands of Matt Young and Kevin Gage.
Frustration of Tuesday night's last-minute heartache against Preston, Slavisa Jokanovic will be looking to build on the positive.